Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth McCravey, a website designer and business coach for entrepreneurs and your host for the Breakthrough Brand podcast, the show that's all about pulling back the curtain on how to actually build a successful business. I don't skim the surface around here. If you want a deep dive into the nitty-gritty details of what it takes to run a successful business and stand out in a crowd, you're in the right place. After creating a multiple six-figure-a-year website design business in my 20s, I'm ready to share everything I've learned and everything I'm still learning because I believe the keys to building a thriving business should never be a secret. Here you'll find episodes that are actionable, direct, and fun, like friends chatting business over coffee, and a fresh, honest take on the reality of being an entrepreneur. If you're ready to master online marketing, branding, website design, mindset, and business strategy, then this is the podcast for you. It's time to build your breakthrough brand. Let's do this. All right, friend, I got a question for you. Does your business need a mentor, like a coach, a person in your corner who can help you out, someone you can consistently learn from and ask questions to? Today, I'm sharing 4 signs, 4 ways you can know that it's time for a mentor in your business, and also sharing how a mentor can help you if you're seeing these signs in your life. And we're going to do this very checklist style so you can see, okay, yes or no, does this apply to me? And a quick message before we dive into the tips. Next week, literally cannot believe it's finally here and that I'm able to say that, but next week, my new membership, Breakthrough Brand All Access, opens for founding members June 27th. Mark your calendar. I'm so excited. This membership is a way to get mentorship from me, along with many other things in addition to the mentorship. And you can get info on it right now at elizabethmccravey.com/BBAA, or you can get the link to it in the show notes. But just go to that page to get info. And now, without further ado, let's dive into these 4 signs that it's time for mentorship in your business. All right, really excited to share these 4 signs with you guys. But first, I just want to give seriously just a few minutes life update because I know some of you guys enjoy kind of hearing what's going on with me. So I'm recording this episode about a week before you'll hear it. And today I just had family visiting. My family from California has been here and they just left a few hours ago. And now I've been working and outlining this and working on all the exciting stuff for my new membership, which I just mentioned a moment ago. And really excited because on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, so again, y'all will be hearing this after this has already happened. I probably will share some about it on Instagram as it's happening. But Adam and I are doing a staycation, baby free. So Colin is staying with my mother-in-law. She's coming to stay for one night. So a whole day, a night, and then another whole day, and taking care of Colin solo, which we're so grateful to her for doing that. And Adam and I are doing a little staycation in Nashville at a hotel here. Going to go to some favorite restaurants and just kind of relax and unwind. And I plan to be completely off of social media in a way, shutting down work during those 2 days as well. I'll share some about what we do after the fact, but really excited. It'll be our first time on a trip, even though I know we're just literally going 30 minutes away, but on a trip without Colin. So super excited about that, but also hoping it goes well, but excited to unplug and turn work off, especially in a season like this month, gearing up for this new thing. I feel like I'm thinking about work a lot, coming up with new things and working a bit more than usual. So really excited to have that bit of a little getaway. Now, let's dive into the first sign that's time for mentorship in your business. And that is that you're getting input and advice from a ton of places, but not taking much action. So I love content. I especially love free content. And I personally create a lot of free content like this podcast you're listening to. And I myself am also an avid podcast listener. And I know many of you guys are as well. This might be one of many business podcasts that you listen to. Or maybe you're not as big of a podcast listener, but you buy tons and tons of online courses, or you always love downloading the next free PDF, or you read lots of business books. Whatever it is, you're getting tons of input input from really great sources, but just a lot of great sources. And you're finding yourself not doing anything with what you're learning from all these different sources because it's so many different opinions, so many different voices. So instead of consuming content and seeing results, you're consuming tons of content and not implementing any of it and not really seeing results from what you're learning. Now, I'm actually not going to say that you need to get rid of all the content as your solution, but what I would say is that you need a place where you are consuming the content and implementing, and a mentor is going to help you with that implementation better, of like providing the content and then helping you with implementing. So maybe it is for you like less voices in addition to that, but I'd say you can do this still with like a lot of content being learned. You just need someone to help you implement it. So if you're getting tons of input with very little action and you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling confused by conflicting advice, a mentor for your business would really help you and be perfect for you to like solve this problem. And I will say with Breakthrough Brand All Access, the focus of that truly is learning on the go. So it's going to feel very similar to like podcasts in the way you learn with the content. The majority of it is going to be consumed through a private podcast. But there's also a huge focus on implementing what you learn and in streamlining your learning. So yeah, that's number one though. If you are getting input and advice from a lot of places, but you're not taking action, might be time for a mentor. All right, number two. This one's really simple and basic, but I got to explain it a little bit more. And I'm sure you can feel this and it feels like a quite obvious one, but you want to grow your business and take it to the next level. And to kind of add to that, maybe you feel like you need help from someone who's already done it to really hit that next goal in your business. So whether that next goal is like booking your first client or finally getting your website up, launching your first course, hiring a team member, moving away from services to products, starting a podcast, finally working less hours and like figuring out how to make your business grow while working less. Like whatever it is, you feel like you need a boost and you need advice from someone who's already done it. So you need encouragement, you need step-by-step advice from someone who's previously done it, and you're feeling like you need to be able to ask questions and you need like the secrets of making business work. If that is you, you are ready for some mentorship. And here's the thing with this one. I really think that if you are a business owner, like seriously, no matter what kind of business you have, having input and advice from a coach, and by coach, I just mean someone besides yourself, besides your team, besides the free podcast, the free Facebook group, whatever it is, that coach and that mentorship is often the missing key to the growth you're wanting. So I just think like this is just simple. Like if you are wanting to take your business to the next level, defined however that means to you, having a mentor in your business is going to help you with that. And in my mentorship program, Breakthrough Brand All Access, like I already said, it's launching next week, which again, I cannot believe it's so soon and finally here. In that membership, I'm ready to be your coach, your mentor, your friend who's a few steps ahead of you, however you want to phrase it. And I'm focusing on all parts and stages of running a business. So there will be content for those of you who are just starting out and you're wanting help with like all that new business owner stuff and the imposter syndrome, the overwhelm, all the questions that come along with getting started. There's going to be stuff for you. And then for those of you who are more advanced and you're like, yeah, I've been doing this a while. I'm past six figures. I want to get to multiple six figures and beyond. And I'm struggling with like the aspects of scaling, like adding more offers, defining like what kind of digital products you want to sell, growing a team, like all those things that kind of hit you when you're farther along, basically. I'm going to be creating a ton of stuff for you as well. And here's the thing about me as a coach, as a mentor, I know how to grow my own business, right? Like that's something I've done and I'm continuing to do. And I know how to do it in a sustainable way that has not run me dry, but that still creates a living for my family. And that's actually giving us the finances to start another business, which is our real estate business, which I've talked about before. But I also know how to take what I've done in my own business and teach someone else how to do it. There are some things I'm not good at teaching, like things that I know how to do, but I can't teach. But I do feel that like I can take what I've learned in my own business and teach you how to do the same thing by giving advice and helping you apply what I've done to your own business, and also being able to figure out, like, okay, what have I done that worked for me but might not work for you? So I love giving advice and helping people with their businesses, which again, I've done that on this podcast for like, what is this, 166 episodes here. And I want to like kind of take that to the next level in this membership. So if you found this podcast helpful over the years, or maybe you're a new listener and you've been like binging some episodes and you're really loving it, this membership will be even more helpful because it's access to me. It's more trainings and more deep dives, like turned up versions of this podcast. That's the best way I know how to explain it, and a community as well. So anyway, that's a little bit about how Breakthrough Brand All Access relates to this. But to go back to like what number 2 was, it's that if you want to grow your business to the next level, having a coach or mentor is going to be super helpful. And again, I stand by that. The mentors I've had in my life and business have been huge for my growth, and I hope you can find that for yours as well. Okay, the third one. You find yourself with a ton of questions, but no one to ask. This one is so huge, but if you're regularly like looking at something going on in your business and you're thinking of questions, but you're like, that's too complicated for Google, or it's too complicated for that free Facebook group. You need mentorship if you're experiencing that. You need someone to ask the question to and to be able to explain what you mean and then get feedback and help, maybe even do some back and forth. You need a space to be able to say, hey, I know this question is kind of complicated and hopefully it makes sense, but like, let me explain what I'm wondering, and then get feedback. So this is where mentorship comes into play really nicely, because by having a mentor, you can ask the tough questions, they can ask follow-up questions, they can give advice, and you can have a conversation with them and problem solve to get feedback that's more directive than free content is. Free content is typically going to be more generalized. It's also going to be able to be more directive when you're working with a mentor than something like a digital course is even going to be. So that is a huge, huge, huge element to growing your business. And if you're finding yourself feeling like you got all the questions, but no one to ask them to, mentorship is going to be super helpful. And in Breakthrough Brand All Access, this is like a huge part of it. And actually this one of like being able to be the person that you can like ask anything to is what I really want this to feel like. So that plays out in a few different ways to kind of tell you how this integrates. One is that you can submit a question anytime for me to answer in the member content. So there's a form you'll have on your Member Hub page where you can submit a question just real quick. You can submit it anonymously or let me know that you asking. And then I will answer it on our member-only private podcast where all of the training materials live. And this is a way for you to get me to teach on exactly what you want help with and be able to like ask a question, word it however you need to word it, a way you can't type it into Google, and to get really like specific help on your specific question. Interrupting this episode with a suggestion for the small business owners listening. Ever wonder what you should do for healthcare when you and your spouse are both self-employed, so there's no work-provided health insurance to participate in? Well, when my husband Adam joined me in the entrepreneurial job space over 4 years ago, we joined Christian Healthcare Ministries instead of getting traditional health insurance. And it was the best decision for us, especially in these years of growing and raising a family while also running multiple businesses. CHM is a health cost-sharing ministry and is a faith-based alternative to health insurance. We did tons of research before choosing CHM, and if you know me and Adam, you know we are all about doing the math when making big or small financial decisions. And even though it's not insurance, CHM shares 100% of eligible medical bills, which is more than the typical 70 or 80% of medical bills paid for by insurance companies. All sharing is determined by the CHM guidelines, which you can check out before and after joining. And for the mamas and mamas to be listening, you truly cannot find a better healthcare option for maternity care. I had a vaginal delivery and a C-section and birth center care and hospital care between my 2 pregnancies and births, and it was all 100% shared for. And outside of birth, we've had our share of emergency room visits and procedures as a family, and those costs were all shared by members at Christian Healthcare Ministries, leaving us only paying our monthly contribution. CHM is less expensive month to month than insurance, and because there's no network, you can choose your care with whichever providers best fit your family. I seriously just cannot recommend Christian Healthcare Ministries enough. You've got to check them out. Go to elizabethmccravey.com/CHM for more information. Also putting that link in the show notes, elizabethmccravey.com/CHM. Now back to the episode. Alternatively, you can ask me questions on our group coaching calls, or We can literally do back and forth responding, like you ask the question, I ask you a follow-up and conversation to really solve your problem, help you get clarity. On coaching calls as well, you'll be able to get feedback from other people in the membership, but also get like my direct thoughts and opinion on your business. And then another thing for those complicated questions, you can ask them in the membership community. So you can post in there what you need help with and get my feedback and feedback from the other members on your questions. So yeah. That's number 3. If you find yourself with tons of questions but no one to ask, mentorship is going to be really helpful for you. And then the final way to know it's time for mentorship in your business, this one's really simple, and I actually don't even have a ton to say about it. But if you're feeling burnt out and unsure of how to move forward in your business, a mentor and having mentorship is going to be helpful for you. So like you're feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, exhausted by your business. I really believe finding a mentor is going to help with this because they can help you have clarity on like what's not working, what is working, and where to move forward. And then alternatively, I'm putting this still in number 4 because I think they relate, but on the opposite end, maybe you're not feeling overwhelmed and burnt out right now, but you're actually feeling really excited and eager and you got a lot of ideas, but again, maybe you're not implementing or you're not sure what to do next. You're struggling with time management, all those kinds of things. Struggling to know what offer is the right move. A mentor will be able to help with that as well. So I'm going to go through those questions again, those points, and I want you to kind of think just to yourself, like yes or no on these things. And that will help you know if, mentorship, again, whether that's through me helping you or someone else, will be helpful to you for your business. So the first one, do you find yourself getting input and advice from a ton of places, but not taking as much action as you need to? Number 2, do you want to grow your business to the next level, whatever that means for you in this season of your business? Yes or no? Number 3, do you have a lot of business questions, but no one to ask them to? And number 4, are you feeling burnt out or like something has to change in your business, but you're not sure what steps to do next? So those are the yes or no questions. And I hope that helps you think about like if mentorship would be helpful to you in your business in the season you're in. And now, like to close out this podcast, I promise I'm not going to talk about it a super long time, but I think if you've listened this far and if you are a regular listener of this podcast, then I'm serious. Like I really believe that Breakthrough Brand All Access is going to be something that will really help you take your business to the next level. I literally created it for you guys, podcast listeners, because I think this is like, again, what you need as the next step to help you really grow your business. So I want to just share just for a few minutes a little bit about it. So I've been asked for a long time if I would create a group coaching program, do one-on-one coaching, create a mastermind, all that sort of stuff. Basically a next step to this podcast, more things to learn, more help, all of that. And this is the answer to that question. It is the perfect next step for you if you're an avid listener of this podcast and if you want more help from me in your business. And it is super affordable, like super, super affordable. You can actually go to the waitlist page right now and sign up for the waitlist, and I'll send you the pricing info. And when the doors open, if you're listening like a little bit later after June 26th, the pricing will be on the page, elizabethmccravey.com/BBAA. But I made this super affordable and encompassing what you've been telling me you want and what you need in order to grow your business. So is Breakthrough Brand All Access for you? I just have like 4 quick things I want to share about it that would tell you that this is for you. So if you are someone who needs to learn in a way that fits your life and schedule, aka learning on the go. So you are someone who does not feel like you have time, or maybe you just don't want to use the time right now to sit down and take an entire course on X, Y, and Z and just buy another course to collect dust on your virtual bookshelf. You want to learn on the go while you're doing other things that you are already doing in your life. So in Breakthrough Brand All Access, the content is delivered through a private podcast in your favorite podcast app. So like wherever you're listening to this right now, you can listen to the content from Breakthrough Brand All Access in the same place. It's not another website to visit or something you have to sit down and watch at your desk. It's not a course where it's like you can technically watch on the go, but it's going to drain your data because you're having to use like the internet to play it. The content is literally going to be downloadable, listening on the go, same way you listen to podcasts. So you can literally learn and grow your business integrated already into your your busy life. Because I know for me, when I think about like growing a business, you got to be able to fit in the learning into the things you're already doing if you don't want to just take tons and tons more of your time. So that's the first thing. Is it for you if you feel like you need to learn a way that fits your life and schedule on the go? Second thing, you don't want to do business solo anymore. So y'all, doing business completely alone sucks. I'm super introverted and I actually really like being alone. I like working alone. If you've heard me talk about my experience growing a team, at one point I thought I didn't want a team because I really like doing things solo. But even still, with that being true of me, I believe community is key to making entrepreneurship work, to making it last, and to building a business that you don't want to quit. Otherwise, you can get really lonely and really burnt out. And if you're like me, maybe you don't have a ton of in-person friendships with people who are other business owners, which are totally okay. Most of my closest friends are not business owners, and I love them just the same, business owners or not. But perhaps you do crave friendships with more people who just get some of the things that are specific to running a business. Like maybe a friend who gets that you're doing motherhood while also working on your new course during nap time. They get that you're excited that you just launched this new offer or that you just had your first 5-figure month. Maybe a friend who has thoughts and feedback on your business name idea, your pricing concept, what to do with that difficult client, how to deal with the online bully, whatever it is, like someone to help and who gets it. And I'm hoping this membership will be that for you. So I love building community. That was a really big focus for me with Book.Designer. The community over there is amazing. You've heard me talk about that on this podcast. And that's a really big aspect to that course, is like the community element. And I'm taking like really what I've learned in facilitating the Book.Designer community and applying it to this membership. So I really hope this will become your favorite place on the internet, a place that you're going to make lasting friendships, find people to network with, connect with locally, even if you guys live in the same city, or just go on virtual like Zoom coffee dates with, whatever it is, people to ask questions to and mastermind with. And I just hope you know that like you don't have to do business alone. And I hope this is a way that helps with that. All right. And I have two more, but third thing, you want to know how I've done things in my business. So this is a huge aspect of the membership and the type of content I'm making. So basically, if you're someone who is interested in learning about digital product businesses, scaling with a team, booking out your service business, growing a podcast, whatever it is that you've like watched me do in my business, you can ask me about it and I will teach on it. I feel like I really enjoy teaching on things that I have learned and done myself and figured out. And so I plan for a lot of the content to be things that relate to that, of me being like, here's what I did in my business, here's how I did it, and here's how you can apply that to your unique business. So one thing I already have planned for the membership is to do things like launch debriefs, and sharing with you guys, like, here's what was my launch plan, here's how it went. So you can see how I go about creating new offers and my process there and things like that. So if you're someone who's like, yeah, I want to know how Elizabeth did that, you'll be able to find that out in this membership and ask me all sorts of questions. Fourth and last thing, and thanks for listening to this point, if you want to build a business that fits into your life and not a business that runs your life, this membership is going to be perfect for you. And this is a really, really big one for me. Again, when I thought about like the structure of it, this was really important to me. This was a really big one. So we see it over and over again of people leaving their businesses that are really successful businesses because they're sick of their business running their life. Or we see people who have absolutely made it, like quote unquote, but they did so with years of hustling and really big sacrifice to their family, their friendships, and their mental or physical health. And they'll tell you both of those things. I talked about that a little bit last week. And again, not trying to say anything bad about people who that's their story, like that's their story, right? And actually, I've really appreciated a lot of the honesty I've seen with people sharing that part of their journey. But what I really hope to help you with is how to build a sustainable business that you will want to keep doing over time. And knowing that even the early years and anytime you make something new in your business, that is going to require more time, energy, effort, etc. but that you don't have to hustle and work every day and night 24/7 to have a successful business. That's not sustainable. And the people who do that will tell you it's not sustainable. That's not how you build a business that lasts. That's not how you build a business that is fulfilling. That's really how you end up being like, why did I leave my 9 to 5 to like work 24/7, right? And I know for me, when I think about my business, I know I want to look back on my life and see my business as part of my life and part of who I am, but not all there is to my life and not all there is to me. I want to be an element of my life and there to be much bigger parts of it that are not like lived out on social media or lived out in what I do in my work. So in this membership, that will be a big part of like when I think about the backbone of all of what I'm teaching, that aspect of building a business that does not run your life, but instead integrates into all the other things you do and that you love doing. But having a super successful business with that still being true. So those are 4 ways to know if Breakthrough Brand All Access is right for you. And there are more than that I could share. I wanted to keep this episode short and really conversational and focus more on the signs it's time for a mentor in your business. So I'm going to leave it there for now, right? With those 4 things and those 4 signs. But please, if this sounds like something that's interesting to you, I want to ask you 2 things. Get on the wait list, elizabethmccravey.com/BBAA. If you're listening to this a little bit later, the door's already open. You can get info at that same link, all about the membership, and learn about all it has to offer and join. But there's more info on it on that page. And get ready for June 26th, where you'll be able to join as a founding member and lock in that low founding member rate that you'll be locked in for the lifetime of your membership if you join during that week of June 26th. So anyway, let me know any questions. Let me know if you're excited. You can DM me on Instagram at Elizabeth McCravey. I'd love to know your thoughts and hear any questions or your excitement. You can also email me at hello@elizabethmccravey.com and let me know any thoughts there too. And I hope you're excited about this. I'm excited. And I hope you get my excitement through this episode, even though, gosh, I'm tired. I'm recording this at like 4 p.m. Normally, just a little podcaster tip. I love recording episodes like first thing in the morning to start my workday. And I definitely feel like it's so much harder the longer you wait into your day. So I'm recording this later. Kind of wish I would have done this morning, but like I said, I had family in town and not letting my business run my life, to go back to like the last thing I just shared. So that's that. Again, elizabethmccravey.com/BBAA. And I hope to see you inside the membership when the doors open next week. All right. I'll talk to you next week on the podcast. Bye, friend. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast and all the way until the end. I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, then I want to encourage you to check out my website, where you'll find tons of resources to help you grow a profitable and sustainable business. Over on elizabethmccravey.com, you'll find free workbooks to help you figure out things like the best headline for your sales page. There's a freebie with my favorite journal prompts to start your day with, a guide on website essentials for all you coaches, and so much more. And you'll find my top business tools. Yes, I literally list out all the major ones for you on my website, and there are tons of special discounts and offers for you guys to snag as you try these products and services. You'll also find the main ways to work with me. First, through my Show It website template shop that helps you DIY your way to a strategic website for your business. These website templates are easy to use, they're gorgeously designed, and they have all the strategy I'm teaching on this podcast just woven into them, and I have a feeling you'll really love them. You'll also find my course and coaching program for designers, Booked Out Designer. In this program, I teach you everything I did to build an in-demand design business so that you can create a thriving business for yourself as a brand or website designer. So if all of that interests you, go to elizabethmccravey.com. To access those tools and free downloads, head to the tools page at elizabethmccravey.com/tools. And to see the different ways to work with me, simply click over to the Ways to Work Together page. I hope you have so much fun exploring everything over there. And don't forget that you can subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening so that you never miss an episode. And leaving a rating and review for the show, sharing it with a friend, sharing it on social media are all great ways for you to support this podcast. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again next week.